What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be covering something that I've been getting asked my opinion on quite a bit since the Infinite Warfare beta launched, and that is, how do I feel about the supply drops in Infinite Warfare? Let's get into it. Alright guys, so first we have to address something. I am going to be talking about supply drops in a relatively positive light for Infinite Warfare today. This doesn't make me some sort of Activision sellout. I'm not being paid by Activision. I'm not being flown out to events or anything by Activision. And for those of you guys that just can't accept that, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm passionate about this game. I love Call of Duty, and I like bringing positivity to my channel. I don't like focusing on negativity. If I have an issue with the game, I'll discuss it in a constructive and civil manner. I'll share what I don't like and what I feel could be changed to make that happen. I don't rant about Activision, I don't rant about the developers, I make suggestions, and I move on. If you guys can't handle me being positive and passionate about something that I love, this isn't the channel for you. You might want to go seek out one of those complaining YouTubers. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, we can finally talk about supply drops. So first off, let's look at the history of supply drops. First off, we had Advanced Warfare, that has a somewhat similar variant system to Infinite Warfare. So you have the base guns, and everybody gets the base guns, aside from DLC, we're going to talk about that in a second here, but everybody gets the base guns, and then you have the variants, which can be better, or sometimes even worse than the base guns in some situations. But for the most part, they were better in some way. And in some cases, they were much, much better. They were noticeably better. They were very, very good guns, and a lot of people would consider some of those guns to be overpowered. Also with that system, the only way to get those guns was through supply drops. So you had to get lucky in order to get one of those. Obviously, this was a very frustrating system, especially once they started releasing the DLC guns that you couldn't actually buy, you couldn't get through any other means than luck. That was very frustrating. That's what really started turning me off from Advanced Warfare towards the end of its life cycle. The game was getting stale, and they're bringing out this new content that I will never have access to. I completely gave up hope on so many of those new guns that came out for Advanced Warfare, and that really frustrated me because I spent the most amount of money that you can spend on a standard game. I should get access to at least all of the base content. I would have been totally fine if they'd give me the base guns, and then if I wanted one of the variants out of those, I have to get it out of supply drops, but that just wasn't the case, so I was not happy with the Advanced Warfare system. Next comes Black Ops 3, and at first, Black Ops 3's supply drop system was excellent. I was very happy with it. Even when they added the melee weapons, when they initially added like the wrench and I think the butterfly knife, I thought this is really cool. They're not stat changers, they do exactly the same thing as a combat knife, they just look different. They're something that are highly sought after, people really want to get them, but it doesn't affect my gameplay in any way, aside from the fact that there might be a few more knifers running around trying to get camos on their new melee weapons. Then they started bringing guns. Now the guns are stat changers, they have their own unique feel, and they can only be accessed in Black Ops 3 through luck. There's no option to buy them outright. If you have the season pass, you don't get them by default. You have to get lucky through supply drops in order to get those. I am completely against this system, and I've always said that I'm against that system. Like I said though, I don't like to feed off of negativity. I shared my thoughts when they started getting guns coming into supply drops, and then I never talked about it again. I don't make supply drop opening videos because I really just don't feel like that is good content. Yes, it brings in a lot of views, but I just feel like I have a bit of a higher standard for my channel when it comes to those types of videos, and I have no interest in doing those sort of supply drop opening videos. This doesn't mean that I have to trash on the supply drop system all the time though. I didn't like it, I shared my opinions, and that was the end of it. Now let's get into Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare brought a whole new system for the supply drops, and I'm liking this system so far. The key word is so far. Things may change in the future, but again, we'll talk about that in a second. So with this system, you do have weapon variants, kind of similar to Advanced Warfare. The variants tend to be better, or they give you little weapon perks that do make the weapon better, or at least a little bit different in some way. Not many of them, at least so far from what we've experienced, seem to be too crazy overpowered, but there are definitely some that are clearly much better than their base variants, and are going to be highly sought after. Now the big thing that's changed with these variants though, compared to like Advanced Warfare for instance, is we can earn any one of these variants that we want just by playing the game. We don't need to be lucky. If we want a gun, we can grind towards that gun and we can get that gun just by playing, just by putting time into the game, completing mission challenges. I think at this point you don't get any salvage for just completing a game or winning a game, and I hope that changes for the actual launch of the game. They said there will be some changes made to the salvage system and how it is actually earned. I'm hoping it's changes for the better, It seemed like they were hinting at changes for the better because people were complaining about it a little bit. So I think they are going to be adjusting that a little bit, but even as it is now, by completing those mission challenges, you get salvage just by playing the game, and you can work towards any one of the variants that you want to have. So if I want the NV4 Fallout, I can buy the NV4 Fallout. I just have to put some game time in and grind towards it, and I can get it. And I love that feeling. It's that feeling of accomplishment as well once you unlock it. Even if in the full launch of the game, it takes a really long time to get salvage, and it takes a really long time to grind for one of those legendary or epic guns, I'm okay with that because it's something that's in my mind, it's something I'm working towards, and I will get excited that I can buy it. It's not like a luck-based system. I'm not playing a slot machine here. I'm actually working towards something, and I like that. Now, aside from the salvage system where you can craft whatever gun you want by just playing the game, we can still get these guns luckily in supply drops, and I'm fine with that. The reason I like this so much is the supply drops now are just kind of that bonus on the side. So if I happen to get a gun that I really wanted, or maybe even one that I didn't realize I wanted, and I get it out of a supply drop, that's great, that's a nice little bonus, but I don't really care that much because the guns I really want are the guns I'm grinding for. Also, you do get various customization type stuff in the supply drops, and those are all just like nice little added bonuses as well. I really don't care too much about customization items, but it is a cool little bonus for those supply drops. So as it is right now, I believe they're handling this system the best way that you could handle supply drops. And don't get me wrong, I would prefer it if there were no supply drops at all, but this is the way the industry is going. Look at pretty much any modern first-person shooter to date. Almost all of them have some form of a supply drop-like system. Sometimes it might be just customization, sometimes it might be game changers. It's different for every game. But the industry is moving in this direction, and there's no denying that this makes a lot of money for them. And they can't just go backwards from here. Last year, I think Activision said they made over $1 billion on post-launch sales, and I would say a huge percentage of that is supply drop type stuff. So they, as a corporation, can't go backwards here. They can't start losing money. They can't make less money than they made last year as a conscious decision like that in order to please their consumers. They have to please the shareholders first. And therefore, a supply drop-like system, it's not going anywhere. We knew it was going to be in the game from the beginning, and at least this time around, it looks like they're handling this the best way that you can possibly handle it. If you want something, you can work towards it, but if you want to get it faster, you can get those supply drops, and you just might get lucky. Now, here comes my issue with this. Everything is looking great so far. What's going to happen in the future? This is what scares me a little bit. Because as it is right now, I don't see them selling nearly as many supply drops as when you could only get a gun out of a supply drop. For a lot of those people that were spending money, now they'd be like, wow, I don't need to spend all that money. I can just grind the game out and get the gun that I want, get the exact gun that I want. I don't have to play the slot machine. This doesn't mean they're not going to sell some supply drops. Of course they will. There's a lot of people that get kind of addicted to that. They just love that feeling of opening these drops, and they will spend money on it. But the problem is they're not going to be selling nearly as much for supply drop content in its current state. So what are they going to do to this system to make up for that money that they aren't going to be getting because of this system? Are they going to be including certain variants that you can only get out of supply drops? Maybe. Are they going to make salvage extremely difficult to get and then they'll sell it for crazy prices? Maybe. We don't know. I have no idea what they're going to be doing, but I really feel like in the future something is going to change with this, and they're going to have to change in order to make those quarterly profits. It's as simple as that. From a business standpoint, they're going to have to do something to bring in the revenue. So overall, my thoughts on it are this. In its current state, I'm loving the system. I think it's great. But having said that, I'm cautiously optimistic because things could change in the future. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and start bashing them already for something that they haven't done. There's already going to be some people that are like, you just know they're going to screw us over. And maybe they will. But give them credit for what they've done so far. Everything's looking good, in my opinion, so far, with the supply drop and the variant system in Infinite Warfare. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Are you guys happy with the changes they've made so far to the supply drop system, or are you still absolutely 100% adamantly against it? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.